Yes, you guys, we have made it to the last episode in the From Local to Global series. I am your host, as always, Safira, CEO and Artistic Director of Edit Code. So first and foremost, you guys, I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present this series to you guys. This was actually a really big dream of mine to be able to share my story in a way that was digestible for like the average entrepreneur without getting like too tech or too into the weeds about different subjects, but really being able to cover a wide spectrum of everything you need to have and your fingertips when you are launching a business of this scope. Additionally, I hope that you guys were able to learn from my experience and also learn from my starting point. I know not even when I was started, like when I started and also now, like I look up to so many different business owners and some of them have started at all different points of this process. And I think that it's so cool that they too had hardships and they kept going. And it's definitely one of my driving forces. So I'm hoping that I could be that for you guys. So I know that I had a lot to cover. With this episode, I'm going to kind of explain a few things that I wanted to cover a little bit more in detail. But first, for the last time for the From Local to Global series with Safira Sanders, I do want to thank my amazing sponsors, starting with the Port of Tacoma. I cannot speak their praises highly enough. I am so fortunate to live in a city that has an international port, and so I'm very excited to not only expand Edit Code, but to expand my relationship with the Port of Tacoma. Second is the William Factory Incubator. Once again, this entire series is brought to you by the Port of Tacoma and William Factory Incubator, which helped me with my business. So in a sense, I definitely want to thank them from the absolute bottom of my heart. Like, I cannot stress enough, you guys, that they have the resources to really help you excel. And this was just one of the programs that they produce on a yearly basis to help entrepreneurs. And I'm very fortunate that I was able to be a part of it. The cool thing about the William Factory Incubator is that they have entrepreneurs that give their guidance from all walk of life. So of course you have like the core William Factory Incubator team, but then outside of that, they do a fantastic job with bringing to light the entrepreneurial life and then connecting those entrepreneurs with different individuals they could potentially help, or allowing entrepreneurs such as myself to produce content to, not only amplify my voice, but to, again, hopefully inspire someone out there that wants to start a business and they might not have the luxury of starting with $1 million budget, giving, them the opportunity to succeed. And that was one of my goals with this project too, is I understand that we all kind of like live in this culture of like Instagram and instant gratification and like TikTok and stuff. So I was glad to like show that there's definitely a massive amount of hustle behind what I do and others like me. Additionally, with the world sort of being at your fingertips, like you do see that people have larger budgets and bigger teams, and sometimes that might discourage you. Just being completely honest, it has for me at times, like, oh my God, like they have like $5 million, look what they're able to produce, right? But at the same time, I know that I have just like a great idea and I'm definitely going to hit all my goals. And I'm hoping that with this particular series, I was just to repeat myself, which I sometimes do, which I hate. I really hope that I instilled some hope within someone, even if it was just one person, to have them understand that, with a very tight budget and a dream, you can make some things really happen. So I'm going to end my little story time on that note. And there are a few things that I wanted to discuss before I wrap up the entire series. First things first, I wasn't joking, you guys, when I said contact me. That wasn't necessarily like clickbait or like anything to sort of like get you to contact me so I can sell you something. Like, in all honesty, for the duration of this entire campaign, which will probably like end around sometime in March, you guys can contact me and ask me questions directly. when doing this sort of initiative and I mapped everything out, it was difficult for me to sort of like think about people that didn't have a fashion product, but also like wanted to speak on my skill set, which is in the fashion industry. So I hope that I did a good job of like reaching everyone. But again, like I said, contact me if you have any direct questions. Look for other resources if you feel like I did not provide an adequate amount of research for you guys, or an adequate enough of answers, I would say, for you guys. Because I really, really tried, and I didn't want to sort of like data dump, but at the same time I wanted to be efficient. So I hope that I was able to stay strong on my dream of making sure that I gave you guys the correct amount of information. So again, kind of going back to my original statement, contacting me won't be something like okay, contact me, then you have to purchase something for Edit Code, or you have to, join William Factory Incubator, which I highly suggest that you do. I don't know why you won't, but that's none of my business. But literally, my contact information is at the end of almost each and every last episode, and it's also in the description box of this video, because I'm serious about contacting me. When I started my process, I really didn't have one person that could answer like those very intricate Shopify and just website in general, and production and manufacturing and negotiation. I didn't really have someone to answer those direct questions. Don't get me wrong, I have a mentor, and my mentor is very well versed in a lot of different things. But sometimes you want someone to speak to that has done it, but that's sort of like your peer, right? Like someone you can just sort of like hit up and say, hey, Safira, this is the problem that I'm having. How do I solve it, right? So I'm hoping that I could be that for you guys, and that was always the goal. Additionally, I keep like a student mentality. So this series wasn't necessarily for me to sort of like sit on a pedestal and say, hey, you guys, I know everything. The reason why I am where I am in my career is because I keep a student mentality, and I'm constantly learning and growing and figuring out how I can get better. Like, I was not kidding when I told you guys that in 2021, I accomplished 90% of my goals, and we are now, like 2 or 3 weeks away from 2022. And I don't think I'm going to reach 100% of my goals for this year, but I know next year I absolutely will, and that's because I have kept a student mentality. So the next thing that I want to address is sort of like the feedback and the structure of the videos. So the way that I did it this particular round, I know if you guys have received other content from me, it's always very much so Safira facing. Yes, trademark that term. But for this particular series, I wanted to produce content that made sense, but also take people that have engaged with me previously and take that feedback and really walk them through the services. Sometimes it helps to have sort of like that second eye, or that second individual actually walk you through a website. And that's what I tried to do. Again, I would appreciate your feedback. So if you felt that seeing my face and having that one-on-one connection with me was more beneficial to you, or you got more out of those episodes, please, keep me posted. Because I want to make sure that I'm producing better content. Because that's something that I felt like personally I fell short with. Edit Code, great, but myself, I just feel like this year I didn't produce enough personal content. So I want to make sure that in 2022, I am really highlighting that goal and moving forward 110%. So I do hope that the website walkthroughs were helpful. Additionally, I also hope that the services that I suggested were helpful as well. Of course, I expect you guys to find your own tools and research. And if you do find new tools, please, let me know. Again, I keep a student mentality. But again, everything was structured with you guys in mind to actually produce a product and not just look at my face all day, which my face is very informative, if I may say so myself. Next, I want to just stress to make sure to watch all episodes within this series, as well as make sure to watch the extended community episodes as well. Those are definitely going to be a huge help. When I kid you not, you guys, I'm very serious about having a multi-generational ecosystem. And this extended community conversations that I had with certain entrepreneurs, all of my entrepreneurs actually, because even the ones that did pre-recorded slides, I had conversations with them before we ever produced content together, and they are so informative, and it was really amazing to hear and speak with. And now I have like friendships with some of those people, and they've been in business for years, and they have been in business before there was an Instagram, before there was a TikTok. Like, you think we hustle now, you guys? People that used to do business before like iPhones, like they hustled. So I'm really glad that I was able to be a part of their journey, and they very much so be a part of mine. I mean, and it was just such a beneficial experience for me. Like, as a person, it was delightful. So I do want to encourage you guys to make sure that you watch all of their content, check out all their websites. I will do a recap video about my extended community. Again, it's going to be pretty short like this one, but again, just highlighting all of my presenters within my extended community. And the next thing I want to cover before I wrap everything up is actually two things. So one, after this series, like I said before, I am continuing this entire journey all the way up to March, because I really want you guys to see the rebranding journey. I really want you guys to witness that and take that ride with me, because I'm super excited. But there will be other content down the line for me about this entire experience. Additionally, I do plan on doing like some live events where we can just discuss, again, any questions that you have, or maybe just give me some feedback about like, hey, I wish you would have covered this. Can you currently cover it? Or can you help me find the tools and the resources to move forward? So lastly, seriously, I want to encourage all of you guys to go for it. And by go for it, I mean just really create a plan and do things like your way. Like the song, I did it my way. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm happy all the time, basically, because I live my life the way that I want to. And I hope that you guys can give yourself the opportunity to do that. And one of the ways that I'm able to be happy and live my life the way that I want to is because I own my future. I own my company, and therefore I'm just like super happy all the time. And I hope that that's something you guys that resonated with you guys throughout my content and throughout my videos. I hope that my happiness was able to come across the screen and really touch you guys and keep you guys motivated as you go through this process. You are going to have, those days, and I do too, where sometimes it's not always completely perfect, but I kid you guys, it's definitely worth the journey. And so on that note, I'm going to wrap this video up. Like I said before, it's going to be a short one, but it's definitely the last part of the 10-part series, but it's not the last part of the campaign. So one more time for the girls and the boys in the back, I want you to check out all of my sponsors, as well as I want you to check out all the links in the description box. Stay on top of all William Factory Incubator events, as well as when I decide to do like the live event, just answering questions, we're going to be a part of that as well. Also too, you guys have my email address, so if you want to ask me a question like more privately, you don't necessarily want to do the whole phone call, which I totally understand, but maybe you just want to send me an email and ask me privately. I respond to those too. With the holiday and the new year and such approaching, it's definitely going to be a little tight on the schedule, so I do apologize in advance if I don't get back to you right away. But as soon as the new year hits, I will definitely be back in my old routine. So kind of give you guys a little update about how I feel about New Year's, and you guys got a little bit of it when I discussed the Chinese New Year's. Like, I take New Year's very, very seriously. Like, I already have my new calendar, I already have my new planner, which is amazing. Maybe I'll do a video about my new planner because it's definitely life changer. I just take it so seriously, and I try to be at peace in working, because I'm a firm believer, like kind of how what you do like for the first day of the new year kind of dictates the remaining of the year. I know that's silly, but I don't know. I just like that idea. So I will be working. So if you guys want to touch base with me, please do so. And if you do experience a delay with my response time, I apologize in advance. It's the holiday season, but I will make sure that I touch base the first of the year. So with that said, I think I'm pretty much done. I've said everything I had to say. And I do hope that you guys produce a product. And I'm going to leave it at that. So one more time, thank you guys so much for watching my content. Thank you for so much in advance for just supporting my sponsors. And I look forward to working with all of you guys in the new year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Have a good day.